So the allocation that we had for the 3 quarters of 23-24 had already been utilized. So I decided to actually go and visit this family, because for me, I like holistic approaches to poverty and the interventions that we need to have. I went to visit the family in Dagoretti South, and I saw the holistic problem. The family has 8 children. Out of the 8 children, 1 has finished high school and got a D. When I spoke to the one who finished high school, he told me the reason he got a D was because, again, he was being chased away from school every time. So he was not able to get the right grades. The other 3 children, there were 4 children, younger children who are supposed to be in primary, junior secondary, all of whom have not reported to school. They are at home because the family could not afford to pay the school that they were going to. So that's a problem I'm going to handle in the next 1 week. But I took the 2 children all the way to Kajiado yesterday. They didn't even have money to shop. And secondary schools, we don't provide sanitary towels. So I bought them sanitary towels, the soap, the lotion, the toilet paper. It cost about 6,000 for the 2 children. Obviously, families cannot afford that. I took them to school. When I engaged the head teacher of the school, she told me that, you know, as long as families don't pay and capitation comes less and late, capitation is supposed to be about 21,000. They've only paid 11,000. So because the capitation is late and less, if the families don't pay, the schools are worried that if we cannot provide dinner, if we cannot provide water, if we cannot provide firewood, the children will burn the school. So we had a parents' meeting and the board meeting, and we decided to send all the children home. So I said to her, what is the balance for this term? It was 30,000. What has been paid? 5,000 was paid by the area MP, Mamuse, and they had not gotten any money from the MP for Dagoretti South. But here is a student who lives in Dagoretti South, who studies in Kajiado, 2 of them from the same family. Arrears in fees is over 30,000. I paid it from my personal pocket. The children remained in school. I asked the school, now that you chased these children from school for 2 weeks, are you going to give me a discount because they never consumed the services of school? She said no. Now, I want to talk about NG-CDF. I want to also talk about GAF. I feel that if we are genuine and sincere as leaders, all the leaders from the county to the MCAs, to the governor, because the governor also has scholarship programs, to the women reps, to the MPs, we need to make sure that we do not handle bursaries. We need to pass in this house that education is free. Capitation goes up to 30,000. Families pay 1,000 shillings. But how does a family, like the one I'm talking about in Dagoretti South, that had 20 cows and was selling milk and lost all their cows during the drought, be able to raise even that 1,000? The only way that we can do that is to go back to what Raila Amolo Odinga had said in his manifesto, that he was going to give 6,000 to every family that has that has parents who are unemployed. I don't think it can work. 6,000 can work. I think we should have an unemployment benefit of 10,000 shillings. We should make sure that it's well vetted. We should ensure that the representatives of the people are involved, because sometimes the administration fails us. I saw that failure during the time we were trying to compensate the people of the demolition, because majority did not get it. I feel that if we have an unemployment benefit of 10,000 shilling per household, and we also have an unemployment benefit of 15,000 shillings per household that has a PWD child or parent, it will cost us about 125 billion. And to be honest, we can afford that unemployment benefit for 10 million households. And once we do that, we straight away take care of the hardship that citizens are facing. And when you tell a household, you can use that 10,000 to pay 1,000 shillings as the family contribution towards your child, and then we educate them on family planning. You would want your children to finish university, so then you do what? You actually start planning your family so that you can be able to afford. And then when we have these households under register, because we want to move them from unemployment to employed, We actually look at what kind of TVET trainings we can give them, which areas we need to employ people, and also understand the data of unemployed. So we also guide people on which careers to take. For me, I feel we need to have a holistic approach on how we approach poverty. I really feel the 75 million shillings that every MP gets for bursaries, the 1.5 million shillings that every woman rep gets, the county assemblies, the MCAs get about 4 million. The governor gives his 1 or so billion on scholarships. Let's depoliticize education. Let us make education free, up to secondary, completely free. And we make sure that the students report to school. So we have 100% transition. When the children report to school, the one challenge will be books, the second challenge will be uniforms, then the mattresses, then the toilet paper and the sanitary towels. Let us make sure that the schools are able to provide some of this stuff within the budgets, and we make sure that no child has to carry a mattress and a box and wear uniforms that are so expensive. The private sector has exploited uniforms. To take a child to school, you need 30,000 shillings worth of uniforms. Let's get NYS to employ more people so that we can have more children going to school with affordable uniforms. We have to remove ourselves from this colonial thing of wearing uniforms and sweaters and jackets and blazers, which cost so much. I really believe that MPs want, if you realize that an MP has had so many children reporting to school and there are no classrooms, the MP then focuses on building classrooms. But the money will not be sufficient for any MP if we don't go one man, one vote, 1 shilling. If an MP has 300,000 constituents, he will need more money to be able to put up more classrooms.
Order, Honorable Pasaris, CDF, I thought is not MP's money.
True, but the MP is oversighting the funds.
In fact, the Act does not mention MP anywhere currently, not even the Oversight Committee. MP only interacts with CDF in the manner it is doing now.
Okay.
Overseeing the report of the Auditor General. But proceed.
Okay, thank you. I stand corrected, Mr. Speaker. But the way I was meaning it was that MP of a constituency, when he knows that he has over 300,000 students, and the students have reported to a school, and the money he has is insufficient, and it's insufficient because the allocation is not done fairly. The MP should know that if the fund gets 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling, he will get sufficient amount of money to be able to build the right amount of classrooms, or to demand that the Ministry of Education, who has an allocation for classrooms, builds the right amount of classrooms. We need equity. We need everyone to be able to benefit. And if the MPs, just like the women reps, we're patrons and we don't get involved in the absolute running of the fund, I think it is important for us to call for not increased amounts of bursaries in the MPs' kitty, in the NCGDF kitty, or in the GAF kitty. We need to actually call for free secondary education, complete free secondary education. And if the contribution by the parents will be 1,000 shillings and we're giving unemployment benefit, it will be affordable. When it comes to university and colleges, when we give help, then the help we can say, okay, fine, now we